From the hardest body slams to the most disgusting gestures, here are the top 10 dirtiest plays in NFL history. To start off, one time, a player almost stopped this player from having kids. In a Thanksgiving game between the Texans and the Lions, quarterback Matt Schaub dropped back to throw in a pass. That's when the notorious Ndamukong Suh rolled on the ground and kicked him right in the nuts. Suh is a really dirty deed when it comes to cheap illegalities in the game. But that wasn't the most extreme we've seen him go in the game. 'Cause in 2011, Suh decided it was time to take this player's arm out. It was the 2011 Thanksgiving game. Yeah, another Thanksgiving butchery from this man. He's like the Grinch of November. Alright, enough of that. The Green Bay Packers went up against the Lions, and during the game, Suh got tangled with Evan Smith. That was when the big defensive tackle banged Evan's helmet on the ground continuously. And as he got up, he pierced his cleats straight into Evan's right arm. He literally turned Thanksgiving to Stompsgiving. Suh got ejected, and in his defense, he was just trying to remove himself from the situation. But that didn't get him off a 2-game suspension. Back in 2009, Wesley single-handedly turned an NFL game to a full-on brawl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers faced the Carolina Panthers, and in an attempt to intercept a punt from a Bucs' play, Panthers' Dante Wesley completely drilled his body through Bucs' return man Clifton Smith. Damn! Smith immediately got concussed, and the whole Bucs' squad wasn't having any of it. So, they opted for the fastest technique of social control. Yeah, a complete battle. Wesley got suspended for the next week, and later reportedly apologized to Smith. He called me and apologized, which I appreciate. He said he was just trying to make a play. We gotta give it to Wesley. At least he was remorseful. This next player meant every single impact in his hit. Back in 2017, Keanu Neal was trying to make a statement in his rookie year, and it demanded that he gave his all on the gridiron. However, he took it too far when he crossed paths with Saints' Willie Snead in a Monday night matchup. Neal went headfirst in the hit on Pretty Boy Snead. And for me, the highlight had to be Snead's glittering orange hair trying to make its way out of his helmet. LOL. Thankfully, Snead was fine after the hit, but trust me, he didn't feel good at all. Well, in 2015, Aqib Talib became popular for one very dirty move, the eye poke. A game between the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts became heated and birthed a head-to-head scuffle between Broncos' linebacker, Von Miller, and Colts' tight end, Dwayne Allen. In an attempt to fight for one of his own, Broncos' cornerback, Aqib Talib, stepped in between both men and did the most out-of-pocket shit I've seen in the league. He put 2 fingers right through Allen's helmet and straight in his eyes. Bro, the players and the fans were flabbergasted. Why? Talib got ejected and suspended without pay for a game. He, however, came up later to give his own side of the story. From my angle, I see Allen headbutt Vaughn a little bit. I went over to poke his head, and I think my hand slipped and hit his face. He acted like he got in an 18-passenger car wreck. I guess that's what type of guy he is. An iota of remorse? Not from my man Talib. But that isn't the most out-of-pocket stunt we've seen in an NFL game. 'Cause this time, a coach got involved in the cheap play. In 2010, during an end-of-year fixture between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets, the most unexpected stuff happened. While Dolphins' punt gunner, Nolan Carroll, raced down the white strip of the Jets sideline in an attempt to halt Jets' wide receiver, Santonio Holmes. That's when a knee from the wall of the Jets' inactive personnel got stretched out and connected with the man. And get this, it wasn't a player or a reserve, it was a coach. It was the New York Jets' strength coach, Sal Alassi, who tackled Carroll, and Carroll remained down injured. Alassi had let his intrusive thoughts win, and that cost him his career, as he never got back from all the debacle that followed. he got suspended by the Jets for the remainder of the season and cost the team a $100,000 fine. Now, let's get to the scary dirty plays. In a game between the Cowboys and the Titans in 2006, Albert Haynesworth completely broke loose and showed the inner villain that had been lurking all this while. The Cowboys had just completed a touchdown, and Haynesworth wasn't really delighted with it. So, he walked to Andre Gurode, who was laying on the ground, kicked his helmet off, and stomped him right in the face. Andre got injured just below his eye and immediately got rushed off the field. The wound was so bad, it required 30 stitches to get it healed up. Haynesworth, on the other hand, bagged a 5-game suspension, which was the longest ever seen in the NFL for an on-field behavior. Haynesworth, however, later came out and apologized to Gurode. "I apologize to Andre," Haynesworth said. "What I did was disgusting. It's something that should never happen. I mean, I'm not a dirty player. I don't play dirty. I have respect for the game. What I feel like is I disgraced the game, disgraced my team, and disgraced my last name." That wasn't the only time we've seen a head stomp in a game. You see, Antonio Brown was returning a punt from the Browns in the game and complimented it with an outstanding run. Shimmying, sliding, and dancing his way down the gridiron, it looked like he was going for a full-field dash. But when Spencer Lanning stood in Antonio's way, he didn't go on with the show. He drove his foot right through Lanning's face to clear the path for his adventure. Yeesh, that was personal. Speaking of personal, these two players took the game to that level. And really, both men were actually at fault. Because back in 2019, in a game totally dominated by the Browns, with a scoreline of 21-7, the Browns launched a final play, which was meant to be the end of the game. But the day had just started for both sides on the gridiron. Just as the play ended, Cleveland defensive end Myles Garrett shockingly whacked off Steelers' quarterback Mason Rudolph and used it as a blatant weapon. Both players got into a full brawl and, in turn, got ejected. Garrett, however, revealed that Rudolph had used a racial slur on him at that moment, hence causing the reaction. He said Rudolph had called him the N-word and made an appeal to the NFL, but the appeal was denied and turned down. At the end, the NFL had made a lot of bucks from the scuffle, as numerous fines were handed out to all the players that were seen to have gotten involved in the fight. Garrett was then suspended indefinitely, and that kept him out for the rest of the 2019 season. And last, but certainly not least, we have that one time an assassin played in the NFL. It was November 23rd, 1986, in a playoff game between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. In the second quarter of the game, Bears' quarterback, Jim McMahon, threw a pass from a scrimmage that got intercepted. But after about 20 seconds, Packers' defensive lineman, Charles Martin, rushed little Jimmy, scooped him off the floor, and dropped him heavily on the ground. This resulted in a bad shoulder injury for Jim and had him ruled out till the next season. But that's not where the story ends. It was later revealed that Charles had a list, a towel where he had written the uniform numbers of several Bears players, including Jim McMahon, number 9, Walter Payton, 34, and Willie Gault, 83. Charles didn't come to play ball. He came to clear out his blacklist, and for some reason, Jim McMahon was on the top of it. Since then, Jim has not forgotten about the incident, and when asked once, he said, "I never talked to him. I never wanted to." That didn't end well, 'cause Charles passed on 19 years later, at the not-so-elderly age of 45. Ouch! That's all we have for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. See you next time.